All right, shalom. All praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That belongs to the Apostle Nelson Great Millstone. And blessings to you, sincere Akins, pitching his truth and sincerity. All right, this is the final part of Colossians 1. It's verse 19. It says, "For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell." Okay. And this is Yahweh Shai. I think this is where I left off on the last one. It says, "And there came a voice out of the cloud saying, This is my beloved son, hear him." So Yahweh was pleased with Yahweh Shai. All right. Now it says, verse 20, it says, "And having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things unto himself, by him I say, whether they be things in earth or things in heaven." Okay. Precept. "But he was wounded for our transgressions and bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we were healed." And that's how we are reconciled or brought back into Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But it says, "And having made peace through the blood of his cross." Okay, because when he died, everything was somewhat turned back to Israel being rulers and being adopted back to the Heavenly Father. Okay, it was when he died, it was basically a rewind and a bringing back, a reconciliation. Okay, all things unto himself. Okay, so it's basically a rewind button was pressed when he died to where everything was going to be in its righteous order. All right, but it had to start by him dying and bringing back the elect men into himself, and that's that was the starting process. Okay, when he died and arose, that was the starting process of everything being brought back to a righteous state. Okay, because the first thing they asked him when he when he arose was, "Is it time to restore the kingdom to Israel?" But there had to be other things that took place before, like the northern kingdom had to be brought back, and all those things were in process, and all these prophecies have to be fulfilled. Okay. Verse 21, "And you that were sometimes alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now hath he reconciled." So when Yahweh Shai died, that's when you had the process of the prophets being awakened. Okay, because it says you are alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works. So you wasn't keeping no laws. Everything was just, I'm gonna do what the hell I want to do, that type of spirit. But he knew when he died that it was gonna be certain men that he died for to wake up to get this understanding. Precept is Ephesians 2. It says, "Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands, that at that time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope, and without Yahweh Shem Yahushua in the world." So it was a certain time before Yahweh Shai died to bring the adoption, where we fell away from the commonwealth and were alienated from Israel. Okay, that's when you had everybody, we was heathens. Okay, we were considered heathens then. Okay, but Yahushua came back, and through his blood, he brought back 144,000 men who was going to do his will, and everything was going to start being back on that path that was supposed to be on, because everything had to be fulfilled. All right. It says from the covenants and of promise. What was the promise? That oath that he gave into Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, us being our own land and being rulers over everyone. Okay. Verse 22. In the body of his flesh through death, to present you holy and unblameable and unreprovable in his sight. So how could we be unreprovable and unblameable in Yahweh's sight? Okay. This is how. Ezekiel 9:4. It says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, throughout the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Now we know, because brothers are real familiar with this. Okay, let's see where we at. Ezekiel 9:4. Okay, that word, mark. 12. It says, mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. And that's what you have. The men that he died for, that he shed his blood for, through death, to present you holy, which is set apart, and unblameable and unreprovable in his sight. Those are the men that's going to be waking up, sighing and crying. That's the mark that was set on their head. And that's how they're going to be unblameable and unreprovable in his sight, because they're going to hate this place. Okay, another precept, Ephesians. But now, in Hamashiach Yahushua, ye who sometimes were afar off are made nigh by the blood of Hamashiach. Okay, when we were far off, it says you are made nigh now. You're made close to him, because it was going to be a certain amount of men that woke up and that was going to get it. Okay, we was afar off from him because we were alienated. We was pushed away. And when Yahushua died, that was the adoption phase of us being brought back into the commonwealth of Israel. All right. Revelations 14:4. This is why we're going to be unblameable and without spot. These are they which were not defiled with women. It's not talking about, well, you can twofold it. But we know that virgin and that woman is America. Okay, and women. Don't be defiled with them. Okay, these are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruit unto the Most High and to the Lamb. So these men were going to be the first fruit, and that's why they were going to be found blameless and without spot. Okay. Verse 23. Salakia. Okay, it says, if ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I Paul am made minister, or whereof I, Paul, am made a minister. Okay? So you got to stay grounded into what you know. This is 1 Timothy 1:1. Paul, an apostle of Hamashiach, by the commandment of the Most High, our Savior and Lord, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, which is our hope. So, we got to stay grounded in that hope, which is Yahweh Shah, of the gospel, the good news, which is what? That we are the nation of Israel. We are the chosen people of him. Okay, we got a promise coming to us. We got to stay grounded on it, and to keep his law, statutes, and commandments, to call upon his name, all these things play a part. All right. Who now rejoice in my sufferings for you, and fill up that which is behind of the afflictions of Hamashiach in my flesh for his body's sake, which is the church. So he's basically telling you, you're a man of the Most High. You're going to be afflicted for this body's sake. Okay? This body is spiritual. Okay? It's spiritual. All right? So you're going to be basically the same way Yahweh Shah was crucified, and not the same way, because it's not going to be to that extent. Okay? But you're going to go through trials and tribulations. It says, and fill up that which is behind of afflictions of Hamashiach in my flesh for his body's sake, which is the church, which is the people. And that's what we're doing today. Okay? It's a precept. 1 Corinthians 4:9. It says, for I think that the Most High has set forth us the apostles last, as it were appointed to death, for we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. Okay? It says, we are fools for Hamashiach's sake, but we are wise in Hamashiach. We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised. So it's telling you all the things that Paul was going through, that we will be going through, basically bringing out the truth of everything. Okay? The truth of the nation of Israel, who we were. Okay? We're going to be afflicted for that. All right? 25, it says, whereof I am made a minister according to the dispensation of the Most High, which is given to me for you to fulfill the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So, precept, 1 Corinthians 3:9, for we are laborers together with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Ye are God's husbandry. You are the Most High's husbandry, and ye are the Most High's building. So that's what we're doing. The same thing Paul was doing. Look what it says. It says, whereof I am made a minister. When we go out to the highways and hedges, are we not ministering to people? Okay, that's exactly what we're doing, to fulfill the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because we're basically his possession and his laborers. We're his laborers, So we need to labor and do the works. All right. 26. Even the mystery which hath been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints. We know who his saints are. Okay. So all of these things will be made known to these same men that blood covered and woke up. Daniel 2:22. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth that is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. Okay. Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. So everything that needs to come out, those laborers are going to bring it out, and Yahweh Bashem Yahshua are going to use certain men to do that. Okay? Verse 27, to whom the Most High would make known what is the riches of the glory. And that word glory is, oh man, let me look it up. I know it had a real good meaning. I'm gonna look in this dictionary. Okay. Salakia. Okay, this is glory. It says, very great prize, honor or distinction bestowed by common consent, renown to win glory. It was one that says something that is source. It says adoring praise, of worship, thanksgiving, replenishment, beauty, magnificent, a state of absolute. Okay, it was one that it said to whom the Most High would make known what the riches of the glory. It was something like to where it was held in something you was like, oh man, I wonder where that brother went to get that. Okay, something that is a source of honor. Something that is a source of honor. So the Most High made known the riches of the glory, which is something of honor. Okay, a source of honor, fame, admiration. So the glory is the kingdom. Okay, the glory will be something that we had promised to us, and certain men was going to remember it because it was going to be a mystery of this mystery. The glory, the beautiful thing of this mystery among the Gentiles, which is Hamashiach in you, the hope of glory. Okay, precept, this is Ezekiel 28 chapter 4. It says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten the riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasure. So the glory, okay, to whom the Most High would make known what is the riches. So the riches would be the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this truth. The glory is that we're patiently waiting on this kingdom, and which is Hamashiach in you, the hope of glory. Okay, so we hoping that glorious kingdom, we're going to partake in it as the first fruits. All right, if it makes sense. It says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten the riches, and hast gotten gold and silver unto thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Okay, so wisdom is riches. Understanding is true riches. All right, like King Solomon, when he was asked, what above all things do you want? He said, knowledge and understanding and wisdom. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, besides money and things of that nature. Okay, it says, whom we preach, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom, that we may present every man perfect unto Hamashiach Yahushua. Precept Ezekiel 3:17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. And that's exactly what we're supposed to be doing, whom we preach. So when you go out on the highways and hedges, it's your job as a laborer to do what? Warn the people, warn Israel. Okay? That some tragic things about to happen to this place. Okay? That's our job. All right? 29. Whereunto I also labor, striving according to his working, which worketh in me mightily. So we're laboring, striving according to his working. So when the Most High use you and he say, this day you're going to go out and prophesy on the highway and hedges, that's exactly what you're going to do, because you're a laborer of him and he's in control of everything. You don't control nothing. Okay? Which worketh in me mightily. So it's showing you right here that he's being controlled. This is 1 Corinthians 6:20. For ye are brought with a price. Therefore, glorify the Most High in your body and in your spirit, which are the Most High. So it's all up to him. Okay, it's all up to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You're going to do exactly what you're supposed to do, and you're supposed to be happy to do it as a laborer, striving according to his working. Okay? Hope this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Double honor to the apostle, Nels Great Millstone. Salutation to Yaki.